Ghost is an interesting one. What do you think about ghosts?
I would be very... I don't know. It's a tough one.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
You hear them from every culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gives me pause. This is not like something that's only with like Europeans and Christians and people that have a specific religious ideology. This seems to be in almost every culture. There's this concept of dead people that return,
right,
in some sort of a mysterious form.
I mean, it would be silly for a Bigfoot person to say this, but that could be part of the human condition. You know,
certainly.
Just no one wants to think that this is the end. And I don't think this is the end, but I do think ghosts are... I mean, why wouldn't a ghost be like, hello?
Because I think it's a memory.
Sure.
I think when extreme things happen, you know, when we're talking about the levels of reality being somewhat permeable under extreme situations, what is more extreme than like a murder or a massacre? And those are the places where people tend to see ghosts. These horrific... I think the earth has a memory. And I think occasionally, under the right circumstances, with the right amount of anxiety, the right amount of distractions, and the heightened sense that you get from being in the dark and being afraid,
right,
you can access these memories. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I see, but I mean, the opposite argument to that is pretty obvious. It's like just because your anxiety's up and because all those factors, and because you know what's happened there, you're more jumpy.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And you see things that aren't there.
Right, but But if you see something that's not there, does it really mean it's not there?
It doesn't necessarily, right?
No, I've always thought that, because it's like, if I say I saw a ghost and I actually didn't see it, but in my brain I did, like, isn't that seeing a ghost?
Right. That's the argument that a lot of people have in terms of psychedelics. Like, psychedelics, you contact God and you have this extreme spiritual experience where you're in contact with this all-knowing entity. And people say, oh, that's a hallucination. Okay. But it's the same experience as if you actually did contact God.
Right.
Like whatever that thing is that you encounter in the psychedelic realm, let's say that is a figment of your imagination. I'm willing to say that. But whatever that figment of your imagination creates, it creates the exact same experience as if you encountered some other extremely potent life form that exists in some strange form that it's not tangible. It's not like it doesn't register with you as something that it's not a normal. It's not like a mug of water.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a thing that doesn't exist in your reality, and it's communicating with you. It's exactly the same experience as if it's an imaginary thing or if it's a real thing.
Right.
The experience is the same. I think that's what happens with people with the ghost thing. There's too many stories. There's too many stories of ghosts from rational people. And one of the places that has a crazy history of ghosts is the Comedy Store. I used to try to see ghosts at the Comedy Store. I would stay there late at night when everyone was gone. I'd like sit in the main room and just hope that a ghost would show up. Nothing ever did. But maybe it was I was too needy. Maybe I was too try-hard. But there's something about like that club itself was Ciro's nightclub. So that club was owned by Bugsy Siegel in the gangster era of Los Angeles, and for sure people were murdered there. Like for fucking sure.
Right.
I mean, those guys were killing people left and right. And if there's ever going to be a place where you're going to see the memory of some horrific experience that expresses itself in some sort of a spiritual form, some sort of a ghost-like wraith type form, that's the place.
And you didn't see anything?
I didn't, but many people I know have. Many people I know have seen people walk through doors and then they go into it and it's in an empty room. Like, who's that fucking guy? And they'll see it like at the end of a dark hallway, and then they open the door to the room. The room's completely empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of stories. At the Comedy Store from really like reputable people that I know that aren't drunks, normal folks, and they tell you and they look fucking terrified and no one wants to believe them.